Hey TMFG community, John Iaconetti here with Carlo Cansino. In today's episode of Ask TMFG, we're going to be discussing quarter in review and what happened in quarter one of 2023. Remember, if you do enjoy our content, like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We love doing these videos for you. In today's episode of Ask TMFG, we're going to be discussing what happened in quarter one of 2023. Obviously, coming after 2022, quite a bit of volatility. We were dealing with a lot last year with interest rates going up and inflation. Now, quarter one of 2023 has actually gotten off to a pretty good start. So, Carlo, why don't you tell us what happened in quarter one?
Yeah, thanks, John. Yes, quarter one of 2023. What's been going on? Smiles. That's been what's been going on. The market has been good. And the market recovering a little bit is due in part to many things. But let's talk about the things that are on top of mind. And one of them you mentioned already, interest rates.
Yep.
What's been going on with interest rates? So for the first quarter of 2023, we've seen interest rates stay put at 4.5%. The rate hike that the Bank of Canada did in December, that was the last one already into April of this year. So 4.5% is where the rates have been, and they haven't increased. And so what has that increase to the rates done? The idea was to bring spending down, bring the economic activity down. And that's exactly what's been happening because inflation has dropped. If we think about where inflation has come, at the end of December, the year over year, December to December, inflation was at 6.3%. January to January, it dropped to 5.9, and then 5.2 February to February. We just got the March numbers, and it's down to 4.3%. The increase in interest rates are working, and we're seeing that inflation rate drop. I know we're still feeling it at the grocery store and at the gas pumps, but inflation as a whole, that basket of goods that inflation is measured against, is dropping in terms of the level.
Yeah, and as a reminder for you out there that probably aren't too familiar with inflation rates, a comfortable level of inflation that at least we're more accustomed to in Canada is around that 2 to 3% range. So if we can get back to that range, and it seems like we're well on our way, it'll be much better for the economy.
Great point, John. And one of the things that we're seeing, the inflation drop, is some confidence in the market. More specifically, we've seen the tech sector start to pick up this first quarter. Yeah. When we look at the NASDAQ, now the NASDAQ is the benchmark index for big tech companies. But if we think about those names that we talked about a couple of years ago, Amazon, Apple, Meta, formerly Facebook, those companies are up between 10 and 25% this year, up to March 31st. We're starting to see those companies recover, and the general market is going up as well. And another sector in the market that had some volatility, the banking sector.
Yes. Yeah.
It only happened at the end or at the beginning of March. We all are aware of the bank issues that were happening in the US, Silicon Valley Bank going bankrupt and having to be bailed out. That threw a lot of volatility into the market, and yet 3 weeks later, it's not being talked about. The market has sort of continued to go up in its trend to recover. That being said, that's just the first 3 months of this year with market volatility. A lot of things can happen in the economy and around the world that will have an impact on what the market does. With that in mind, what's the McClelland Financial Group doing for our clients with all of this uncertainty still in the market? So I thought it made some sense that we talk about what your advisors do for you at the McClelland Financial Group to take our mind off what's happening with the market volatility and keep us all on track. So number one, rebalancing. Yep. I'm sure that you've had a call about rebalancing from our office. That's our way of keeping your portfolio at its target mix. We know that the market is going to be up and down, and it's going to make your portfolio a little more aggressive or a little more conservative than you'd like it to be. That's when we implement the rebalancing and bring your portfolio back to target. Number two, the news articles that we send out, the videos that we put out like this one, the podcasts that Mike and Rob do, they're all for educational purposes. We want our clients to be aware of what's going on in the market, not necessarily take that information and react to it, but just have a general awareness of the market is volatile, this is what's happening with the portfolio, and this is why. You shouldn't be making, behavioral mistakes or emotional moves because of what's happening currently. And lastly, I know that there's a lot of talk about using GICs or using fixed income investments because of that market volatility, but we still have to consider long-term growth in the portfolio that is going to outperform inflation. Inflation has been a buzzword we've been using all this year and previous year. You need equities in your portfolio to maintain growth that will keep up with inflation or outperform. So we need to maintain that equity exposure and not get nervous and want to put our money into fixed income type investments.
Yeah, it all relates back to something we're pretty adamant about, which is controlling what you can control, right? There's a lot of outside noise, and this quarter was a great example of it. Last year was a great example of it as well. What can we do about it? Unfortunately, I can't control interest rates. You can't control interest rates. But what we can do is we can put our clients into the correct portfolios that they can be able to weather the storm, regardless of the interest rate environment or what the Bank of Canada does or any of those external factors. But that was our quarter in review for quarter one of 2023. Something new that we're trying here at the McClelland Financial Group and with ASK TMFG. Let us know down in the comments below if you think that this has been of value to you, and let me know what you think about quarter one for 2023. That's been another episode of ASK TMFG though, so if you do enjoy our content, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Until next time, I'm Iaconetti.
I'm Carlo Cansino.
And this has been
ASK TMFG.